When I was in secondary school in Cameroon, every February, my classmates will write letters to their girlfriends. Fast forward to February 2022 in Boston, Massachusetts. When I walk into any local grocery store or CVS, I see the impressive displays of chocolates from Russell Stover to Ferrero Rocher to Lindt. I also notice the heart-shaped chocolate boxes, love-themed greeting cards, and impressive display of rose flowers. All of this mean Valentine's Day is around the corner. This is a day when lovers express their affection to each other with greetings and gifts. This prompted me to ask myself the question, should we celebrate Valentine's Day? Before we dive into that, please like this video and also subscribe to our channel if you're new here. History and evolution of Saint Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day, celebrated on February 14th, was first instituted by Pope Gelasius I in 496 AD. According to Wikipedia and Encyclopedia Britannica, the day is named after Saint Valentine of Rome, who was imprisoned and executed in 269 AD for helping persecuted Christians. Legend says that Saint Valentine was imprisoned by Emperor Claudius I for performing marital rites for soldiers who were forbidden from being married. The legend also says that while Saint Valentine was in jail, he fell in love with his jailer's daughter, and before his execution, he wrote a letter to her addressing himself to her as Your Valentine. Due to these legends, the holiday is associated to romantic love. However, the historical evidences to this are not reliable according to Wikipedia. The earliest association between Saint Valentine's Day and romantic love happened in 1382 in a poem by Geoffrey Chaucer entitled Parliament of Fowls, in which he says, "But this was on Saint Valentine's Day, when every bird comes there to choose his match of every kind." Readers of this poem assume Chaucer was referring to February 14th as Valentine's Day. Other authors have written poems about birds mating on Valentine's Day, associated to a belief that certain birds will mate on that day. The practice of greetings on Valentine's Day is said to date as far back as the Middle Ages, but the earliest written Valentine greeting card didn't happen till the 1400s, in which Charles, Duke of Orleans, wrote a poem to his wife while in prison, addressing her as "Ma très douce Valentine," my very gentle Valentine. Valentine's Day is also mentioned by Ophelia, Hamlet's love interest, in William Shakespeare's Hamlet, 1600 to 1601. Modern celebrations of Valentine's Day. Paper valentines became popular in England in the early 19th century. In the United States, commercial valentines were printed in the mid-1800s. Fast forward to today, where Valentine's Day is the third priciest holiday in the US with a gross spending of $23.9 billion per year. Many other countries celebrate Valentine's Day with various traditions. Argentina, France, South Korea, Philippines, Ghana, Spain, England, Brazil, and my home country Cameroon, just to name a few. Interesting facts and stats about Valentine's Day. Should we celebrate Valentine's Day? I want to offer some facts and stats to consider from an American context. People tend to spend a lot on love on Valentine's Day. It is projected by CNN that Valentine's Day spending is expected to reach around $19.6 billion in 2022 in the US alone, which is an average of 143.56, about 83,000 CFA, spending by a US consumer. Men generally spend about twice as much as their female counterparts. $235, about 136,000 CFA francs, versus $119, about 69,000 CFA francs, according to Wallet Hub. According to David Ramsey of Ramsey Solutions, spending of $300, about 174,000 francs CFA, are major purchases, making Valentine's Day spendings to come very close to that category. In the UK, the spending is not as much but still very high. £1.45 billion in 2020 with an average of £35, about 27,000 francs per consumer. In Spain, the average consumer spends about €123. about 80,000 francs. In France, the average consumer spent about 118 euros, that's about 78,000 francs, and in Germany, the average consumer spent about 92 euros, which is about 60,000 francs. While the monetary conversions above do not tell the whole story, and Cameroonians may not have this amount of purchasing power, the issue that these trends highlight is that as humans, when it comes to Valentine's Day, if we have the ability to spend, we will tend to spend a lot. 36% of people expect at least $50 spending on a gift, while 54% will break up with their Valentine if they spend irresponsibly. While this statistic belongs to the American context, it points to a deeper issue of expectations. Depending on the relationship you are in, if the expectations are not healthy, a person in the relationship is in danger of disappointing their partner if he or she spends or underspends or spends recklessly. 6 million couples get engaged on Valentine's Day in the US. Wallet Hub projects that 9 million proposals will happen on Valentine's Day this year. 48% of Americans agree that a marriage proposal on Valentine's Day is romantic. Considering the influence that Americans have on Cameroon, it is not a stretch to think that Cameroonians will find a Valentine's Day engagement to be very romantic. Origins of Valentine's Day in Lupercalia. Some believe that the modern customs of Valentine's Day may have been connected to a Greco-Roman festival called Lupercalia, where rites of worship will be offered to Lupercus, god of fertility. These rites were said to include sex lotteries, where men would draw women for mating. While some hold to this connection between Valentine's Day and Lupercalia, Wikipedia says the historical evidence is circumstantial at best. As I survey these thoughts, on the one hand, I see the large spendings, but on the other hand, I see the romantic gestures such as marriage proposals. Other thoughts. As a Christian, I take my marching orders from the Holy Bible, and in thinking about Valentine's Day and romantic love, two passages come to mind. 1 Corinthians 13. This passage is used in many weddings and testifies to true nature of love. It is patient, kind, gentle, bears all things, and does not insist on its own way. While this passage is not primarily about romantic love, it gives lasting ingredients to romantic love. Ephesians 5:22-23. This passage gives a vision to the love between a husband and his wife. This husband is to love his wife sacrificially, and his wife is to respect and affirm his sacrificial leadership. Some in Christian circles argue that Valentine's Day should not be celebrated, primarily because of the aforementioned association with Lupercalia and also because of what Valentine's Day has come to symbolize popularly as a day when people celebrate lust more than love as displayed in the Bible. Yet other Christians would use Valentine's Day more redemptively by pointing to 1 Corinthians 13, Ephesians 5:22-23, emphasizing that as long as the celebration falls within those confines, it should be okay. Some other passages which celebrate romantic love in the Bible are found in the Songs of Solomon, which are a series of poems between King Solomon and his beloved bride. In conclusion, should we celebrate Valentine's Day? Based on all the thoughts above, I would consider this to be a loaded question. A good way to answer this question is to ask more specific questions. Do you plan to spend irresponsibly for your mate? Do you have unreasonable expectations about how your mate should spend on you? Do you plan to have premarital sex? Do you plan to give a marriage proposal to your girlfriend? Do you plan to tell people about the unquantifiable love of God and how it expresses itself in marriage? Do you plan to serve the marginalized? After all, St. Valentine was imprisoned for serving persecuted Christians. I have not exhausted the list of specific questions, but I believe it is by asking ourselves more specific questions that we can discern what we should do. Do you plan to celebrate Valentine's Day? Please share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more enriching content. Also, share this video with your contacts on social media. We all need to be edified when it comes to the subject of love. Thank you for watching, and until next time, best tech remains your best bet.